To all the American agents out there, happy 4th of July. I hope you guys get some, good barbecue weather, and I hope you get to spend some time with the family, not having to worry about work or, any of the other dealings that are going on in the world right now. I hope you just have an enjoyable day. Alright, so I've wanted to make a true Patriot build for quite some time. In fact, I really wanted to make one in Title Update 8, but I just never got the pieces that were good enough to actually make something with it. And then, of course, when Title Update 9 happened and the white buff ended up getting reduced to 2 and 3%, it really stole a lot of the thunder from that build. And then, of course, when Title Update 10 happened, and now they basically removed the ability for incoming healing to actually do anything for the build, it's really been, hurt again. But I still wanted to actually find a way to, use this set and at least take advantage of some of the bonuses that it still does retain. And one of the biggest aspects of that always intrigued me was just the magazine capacity. You can increase your magazine capacity by 30%, which can definitely be very beneficial to a lot of weapons. Now, if you've used the crossbow, you're pretty familiar with how the actual weapon works. You get one arrow at a time. That's pretty much it, right? I mean, makes sense. But when you put on True Patriot and you actually get the 30% magazine size, for some reason, it equates to having 2 arrows on your crossbow. So basically you get 2 rapid shots instead of having to reload in between them. But diving into the build here, like I said, I am using Survivalist, and that is just for the crossbow, just so I can basically, knock the armor off of heavies rather quickly. I am using my trusty P416 with In Sync. Now obviously I'm not investing heavily into skill damage, but the thing is, this also gives me 30% weapon damage to my assault rifle when I'm using it, which is a pretty nice bonus to get on a talent. And of course, at the same time, it's also giving my assault drone a 30% damage buff. Now for my secondary slot, I couldn't really decide which weapon I would like better. I think I started off with the Baker's Dozen. Obviously, that's just one of the go-to weapons to go with. But True Patriot is really a debuff set. You want to debuff as many enemies as you can, just spray and pray. And, for that purpose, an LMG is really well suited. I think overall, I prefer the LMG, but, a rifle works just as well with this type of build for, longer distance targets, of course. And of course, part of the namesake of the build, the Liberty pistol, with, a decent roll, 13%, which I'm sure you know by now, basically just builds up stacks and, can heal the shield. So it's a nice pistol to use. My backpack is a Providence defense with, weapon damage, crit hit chance, and a crit chance mod. It's got vigilance on it, so I'm basically, getting 25% extra damage. And as I'm sure many of you are familiar with now, using vigilance and having the shield equipped, they're just a very good combination to actually use together. Alright, and moving into my mask, my first True Patriot piece. If you're unfamiliar with the actual bonus that it gives, whenever you hit an enemy with the red buff, it basically just amplifies the damage that they take from any source by 8%. White heals you for 2% every second, at least as long as you're shooting at them. And then blue basically just decreases the damage that enemy can do by 8%. Now my chest piece is a second piece of Providence Defense. Obviously, I think you've probably seen this one before if you watch my videos. Weapon damage, crit hit chance, armor regeneration, and a critical hit chance mod. Now it's got perfect glass cannon on it, which basically amplifies all the damage that I do by 30%, and of course increases the damage that I take by 60%. And obviously my gloves are pretty simple, just, armor and crit hit chance. Basically the same thing with my knee pads, armor and crit hit chance. And then my last piece, my holster, armor with crit hit damage. Now just taking a quick look at my skills. My shield, don't pay attention to the cooldown, I'm in the gun range, but my health is almost at 10 million. And moving on to the striker drone, don't pay attention to the cooldown because obviously, like I said, in the gun range, but the damage that I'm doing is about 19k. But like I said, when I'm using In Sync, I'm getting 30% on that. And of course, my perfect glass cannon gives me another 30% that's not added onto that already. So, it's doing pretty good damage. And just taking a quick look at the stats, you can see I've got about 50% crit chance and about 70% crit hit damage on the build. But thank you guys for watching. Happy 4th of July. I'll see you in the next one.